I've seen a lot of people, a lot of business owners, they put out this request for top sales talent. You know, I want some of the top closers. They make their offer sound absolutely irresistible. And then they find the top talent. And the moment they get in there, they're like, all that money you've spent on learning and all the inner work you've done, just park that to the side and follow this script because I know it works. Rah, 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 rah. So I want to talk about that because that's where good sales reps go to die.
Alrighty, we are live, guys.
Hello, and look at the new pad.
I know, this is the new pad. So for you visual people, so we've been moving house. It's been pretty chaotic.
Yeah, it has.
But here we are in our brand new house. Camera around. The view is amazing.
Yeah,
guys.
we can like, we're literally staring at the ocean right now.
Yeah,
so
it's actually a really good place with podcasts. This is a makeshift podcast kind of studio we got here, but I think it looks pretty good.
It looks really good.
I think this is the new spot. So like, I think the biggest thing to draw a distinction on to have this conversation, right, is the difference between like process, like following a process or a structure, and actually following a script, right?
Yeah.
So like, we are very structure process driven. I believe, and you believe, and hence the reason why we do what we do, is that there's like laws in sales that kind of need to be met. Okay, for someone to actually be persuaded, to be have like the conviction, the certainty to make a decision for change, right? You know, you can fight me on that if you think it's wrong, but it's proven time and time again. Anyway, but scripting is literally like word for word.
Yeah,
so
word
like
tracks.
yes. And what a lot of businesses do, right, is they have a script that they are like, you need to read this word for word. And this is where like, it's just, it's ridiculous. It
Authenticity
really
dies, like leaning into the closer's strengths dies. It's like, it's just a real shame. Like I've listened to meetings, like some of my girls, like get this, have sent me meetings of someone reviewing their call and literally being like, oh, that word wasn't in the script. Oh Mike, how dare you say that? That wasn't in the script.
Yeah.
And like, look, I understand that by everyone following a script, you can measure and you can see things, like you can see what works, what doesn't work. However, like it's just sad. Like we know that authenticity is the highest possible frequency that someone can be in. It's what humans crave. They crave authenticity and connection. And the moment you put a script in between you and your potential client, it just removes that. It removes the ability to even be authentic.
Yeah, now it's like you're actually just acting, right? It's like you're reading a script. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so like, man. So yes, but you can get the same thing from doing structure and process. That's the thing though. It's like the reason why people want to do a script is because they're like, well, I need to know what works, what doesn't. It's like, okay, cool. Create that structure in the call and have a process that must be met, but let the rep get there how they do. Yeah. Right? This is what makes sales fun as well. Otherwise, like, you know, one day they would literally just have an AI that just reads out a script. Or like, what's the actual point of having a sales rep if you just have a script that's read?
Exactly.
Like,
hire an AI agent and just get them to read the script.
Well, eventually, right?
I honestly, it just baffles me, and I don't understand. Like in any other profession, you want someone to come in and kind of make it their own. You want them to own the space. You want your sales reps to own the conversation. So let them. Let them show you, let them open your eyes and actually be like, hey, I learned this really cool thing on my last account. Like, are you open for me trialing it? And no one's asking to have it rolled out across the whole team. But like, if it's going to make you an extra 5-10 sales per week, like, wouldn't you be open to trying that?
Yeah, I know.
Instead of these rigid scripts and word tracks. And like, and the same goes to freaking sales coaches who are like, I have the one word track that's going to solve every single partner objection. It's like, shut up.
I know.
No, you don't.
And the funny thing is, like, it's I swear there's a name for it, right? It's like a law or something. It's like when you find something new, then everyone starts doing it. Now it's not new anymore. So then it's like it makes it irrelevant. And like that definitely happens with a lot of the word tracks. Yeah. You're like, oh, if someone gives you a think about objection, say this. It's like, okay, cool. But then like if I'm a prospect and I jump on a couple of different sales calls, if the first person has handled an objection that I would have that way, if the next person handles it the exact same way with the same word track, because it's the best word track, the prospect's like, hey man, I've literally had this exact same
conversation. Wait, stop. Let me actually tell you what you're going to say. And then and then like the poor sales reps like deer in the headlights, like
they're like, this is the only thing that I've got.
Yeah.
So like concepts is everything.
I feel like
one slight caveat, just slightly off track. We'll come back to this because we just mentioned about the AI thing. So there's been some leaks around the AI section, and yeah, it's getting very heavily audited essentially, which is good news for sales reps.
Great. Amazing news.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing, right? People were like, oh, no, it's AI. Because you've heard the phone calls, like the AI phone calls. They're pretty good. They are really good. But like what laws now are saying, because it's actually a thing that people want to start implementing, the laws now are like,
you got to be told.
Super aggressive.
Well, I think you just have to be told.
Yeah, like the AI has to declare that they are an AI at the front. They also, there's some kind of a tone that plays. And then it also says you can hang up at any time. Like there's so much around it. It's like it's not going to be effective at all.
Wow.
Which is kind of good news. It's very good news for sales reps.
Yeah. I mean, I think sales reps are completely fine because at the end of the day, people really do crave that connection.
Yeah.
And like the world is going online. Yeah. So we're losing more and more of that connection. So like I do feel like people still want to talk to people.
100%.
And what I'm starting to see now is the real need to have a conversation.
Well, that's the thing.
It's and so when you were like, oh, there's laws in sales that like aren't broken, like I maybe want to debate you on that a little bit because like I agree. I think process is important, but I'm also like a firm believer in just going with the flow of the conversation. And so like I don't necessarily agree that if you don't do the consequence, for instance, you're not going to make the sale, or if you don't dig deep enough into the pain, you're not going to make the sale. I don't believe that fully.
Yeah. So context though, right? How would you train that?
Well, exactly. And that's why I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I think scripting and process is great to learn from.
Yep.
And then when you are unconsciously competent and 100%. You know what you're doing, then you can take the training wheels off and you can actually just go with the conversation. Yep. Like if someone's like, take me there, go there.
Yeah. And what you'll find is you're subconsciously doing things that you would have learned already, right? So it's like, you've got to learn the rules before you break them.
Exactly.
But you can't just be like, hey, new salesperson, go with the flow. Like that's not going to work.
No.
Right?
No. I agree.
So like, and what, because we've got a couple of years of experience under our belt, right? It's like, I know what's required. So like, yes, I might go with the flow, but it's like, I know where I'm going and I know where I'm heading and I know like the slight direction that I'm going to like push it. Right. So like, but yeah, what the main thing that we're trying to get across here is that like, yes, you want consistency. Yes, you want like repeatability, especially when you're training people in a sales team. Because if everyone's just going with the flow, it's like, right, you might just have a killer, but you're like, what are they doing? Like, how do I replicate that?
Exactly.
And you don't really want that in your team.
Yeah.
You want consistency, but do not get your reps to read the script word for word. It's not good. We've had so many girls that we jump on sessions and we listen to the script and we're like, oh no. And then we'll like make some suggestions, make some tweaks. And I've literally got like messages on my phone. It's like the next day, it's like, man, 2 piffs out of 3 calls. And it's like, what did you do? I just did the one thing that you told me not to do on the script.
Yeah.
And then they get like pulled in line again. And it's like, no, you got to follow it. It's like,
I just don't understand that. Like I really, really struggle to understand business owners who aren't willing to be more open about that, especially for a top sales rep. And if you have a high turnover of sales staff, like maybe look internally at what's going on in your culture, in your expectations, because there's obviously something that's not adding up. And it's like you should play to their strengths. If someone spent thousands of dollars on sales training, let them use that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally getting someone to come in. You're not paying them. You're only paying them on the sales that they're making. Then you're demanding them that they follow your script.
Yeah.
That's being created by you with your personality. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like I get so angry about it because I see incredible sales reps die at terrible scripts. Blake. Not I'm very dramatic, clearly. But they do. They lose their passion. They lose their light. And that's something that you should never allow anyone else to dim.
Agreed. Yeah. You just can't, like, sales is just about connecting with someone. That's literally all it is. And you can't connect if you're reading a script.
Well, I would actually go as far to say as it's not even, because like, okay, I'll give you an example. I've got this one girl, she's placed on an account in the US. Obviously won't say what account.
Yeah.
Their script is heavily like convincing them, the potential client. Like you look at a call breakdown and the salesperson's doing most of the talking. It's very old school, right? gave feedback on the script, there's absolutely zero wriggle room for moving of the script because it works, is what I've been told. The top closer is using the script word to word and she's converting it like 60%, right?
Okay. Yep.
That's not the script, honey. That's not the script.
You've just designed a script around what that person was. Yeah.
It's how she's delivering the script. It is 100% got to do with her energy, who she is, her charisma, all of that stuff. And that just doesn't get taken into consideration. You can't fit a square inside a circle.
Yeah. Otherwise, what scripts would be is essentially you would just listen to your top closers calls, 10 calls. You'd grab the manuscript and just make that your script. Or the transcript, sorry. Yeah. It's like, that doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
You can't script that stuff.
You can't script energy. You can't script tone. And like, I've actually seen a lot of people being like, tone is not a thing you should focus on. I'm like, sorry.
I just think everyone, okay.
Do you have are you like just trying to get people to disagree with you? Which,
no, it's just people saying the most outlandish, polarizing things.
I know.
To like it grabs attention. It really does. And like, hey, wait, don't hate the players. Don't hate the game, hate the players, or don't hate the players, hate the game. Something like that. Anyway, I don't know. But like, that's it. It's like, hey, you know what? Nothing matters. It's all about the shirt that you wear on the sales call. That's it. Like, you could say anything to get the attention. But like, as always, it lies in the middle. It's a bit of everything, guys. It's tone massively, 100%.
Massively.
100%.
Like, literally massively. It's not the words, it's how you say the words.
Yes.
It's you bringing a script to life. Like, so, you can,
and like, it's proven. You can literally get two people to say the exact same question, word for word. And it just comes across so differently.
So differently.
So it's like, that is ridiculous.
The scripts are done. Like,
They're definitely not. That's a bold statement. That's a bold move.
When I say scripts are done, I mean like being rigid in your scripting is done. Like we literally know that in order to have incredible leadership among a team, in order to have high retention, it's like it's literally leaning into your people's strengths.
Yes.
So if you've got someone on your team who is an absolute killer in like how assertive they can be, let them mold the script into something that's going to be more suitable for them. If you've got someone on your team with such high energy and they're really good at inspiring, like get them to lean into that strength. Like, because you're literally putting them in a box and shutting it with a key when you say, follow this script and read it word for word.
Yeah.
Like at She Sells, we actually teach a skill to be able to read a script and not sound like you're reading a script. Like that's the first skill you need to master in She Starts. Is like be able to read a script, bring the words to life through your tonality, through your body language. However, like once you've passed and you've acquired that skill, then we move into like pushing the script to the side. Yeah. Here's the call flow. Add in more of your own style and personality. That's how you find it.
Yeah.
It's like giving your closers the flexibility to find who they are.
Yeah, just know what you're doing. That's the main thing, right? It's like the script is like, hey, here you go. You know nothing. Like this will get you pretty far. It'll get you pretty far, right? But then from there, it's like, okay, cool. You know the words. You can say them. So it's like, let's see what's behind the words and why you're doing what you're doing. This is when concepts come in. And then when they understand that, it's like they've got the words, they've got what they're trying to achieve. Now they start to like find their own little ways to get there, their own questions, their own words, essentially. Yeah. And that's when sales is fun. Because that's what gives you freedom.
I probably leaned too much on the side of being like, ditch the script. Like, I get it. Like, business owners know their avatar.
Don't go back on it. Back yourself.
Yeah, I said what I said. I'm not going back on it. I'm just also saying, like, I can recognize and appreciate that a new closer coming onto an account and kind of having ego and being like, oh, I do it this way is also not the way you should approach it.
Yeah.
This is communication, right? I mean, we're all it's sales.
Yeah.
Communicate with the business owner. Hey, I noticed that this part in your script gives me this resistance. Would you be open for me trialing this? And here's why. Here's what I think is going to happen because of it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just the way that sometimes people present themselves as well. It's like, if you go in hot and heavy and like, hey, this script sucks, like it's so bad, everything I've learned, like if this is the opposite, of course the business owner is going to get defensive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like everything we know is that was like, oh my God, I can only communicate like that on a sales call. I have to pull my girls up on it all the time. They're like, sales version of me. And I'm like, no, that's you. That's how you communicate now. And it's even like, you know, sometimes when you're talking, sometimes I even do it myself. Sometimes when you're talking to me, I'm like, don't give me that sales, can I share a perspective nonsense? And you're like, what? That's just me. And I'm like, I know what you're doing.
It works though, right?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I say, no, I'm not open, and you continue to give it to me.
Yeah. So, yeah, as you were just talking, right? It's one of those things. So, like, I think everyone tries to make sales so like yes, no, like binary. Ooh, I said the word. But they try and make it so like this works, this doesn't. It's like it is not a science. It is an art. So it's like, you know, if we just relate it to painting, like, sure, there are laws in painting where like I don't fucking know anything about painting. This is probably a terrible example, but I can imagine if I was a good painter.
Our sister-in-law is going to be listening to this, going like, "What are they talking about artists and
no?" But like, so seriously, right? Like, look, there are like rules with like the rule of thirds in art. So it's like, you know, there's certain things that you just want to follow, and certain color patterns and schemes and stuff. They just work together because it's just like somehow like nature or humans have decided like, hey, this kind of works, right? So those things are in place. It's the same with sales. That's what I mean by like there are laws. There's like certain things that just kind of happen. Like you have to ask open-ended questions. Like I can't just jump on a sales call with someone and just steamroll them and expect them to buy.
I mean, people do.
Like, but here's the thing: it can work, right? It can work, and I used to do that.
Saying. There's no law.
I know there is no. But
that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is though, is like, is that going to get me a higher percentage of conversion?
Well, you'll be exhausted, but probably yes.
Okay, perfect example. If we said to all of our sales team tomorrow, "Hey guys, do not ask any questions. Just steamroll for 15 minutes and present." What do you think is going to happen? Probably not going to go well, right? Look, can we get some sales? Maybe. But like, it's just not going to work. Because like, how is the prospect going to feel like they're hurt?
Well, they're not. Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're going to end up signing up and being like, I was pressured.
This is what I mean, right? So it's like there's certain rules, but like prospect has to feel like they're hurt. How do they feel like they're hurt?
We don't call prospects prospect.
Yes. Sorry.
Potential clients.
Potential clients, my bad. So it's ingrained, see?
Yeah.
Patterns. But anyway, like we, you have to ask open-ended questions. Prospect has to be able to like feel like they're being heard. Right? Like I can't swear at a prospect when they show up in my Zoom room. It's like certain things just don't work.
Exactly. You can't swear at your wife when she throws a pen at you.
Yeah. But can I do things that are like out left of field and they actually work? Sure. And will I do them sometimes? Because I can't understand, like I know what I'm doing. Yes. But if someone has no idea what they're doing and they just do it because they hear me do it, like it's just not going to go well. No,
and will certain things work on different accounts and not on others?
Exactly 100%.
Right.
Exactly.
So you do. It's not. This is why. This all goes back to the thing though. Like, just because you learned one way, one script, that doesn't mean that same script is going to work on your next account. The concepts and the principles. And yes, but they still need to be adapted, and you still need to learn your avatar and how you can make them feel understood.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes you will need to be a little bit more assertive, or you will need to lead more, particularly if you're talking to someone who's so broken. Like it all comes down to understanding who you are selling to and who you are leading.
Yeah. And that's when you unlock where you get really good at sales, right? Yes. Where it's like, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Some people are like, oh, I can only sell to
women,
X people, or I can only sell to Y people. It's like, well, you just haven't learned how to do that yet.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's do this to wrap up. Let's say the worst line that we've ever seen in a sales script.
Oh, can I give an example? Actually,
all right.
Yeah, let me give an example. And I'm probably gonna steal your one, but like, hey, I put my hand up first.
Well, you didn't. You just steamrolled me.
Exactly. Oh, there you go. Steamrolling works. So anyway, I remember, right? So I was a pretty experienced sales rep. Like pretty experienced. I was like fairly young in my sales career, but anyway. Joined up with this fitness account, and the guy gave me the script, right? Gave me the fitness script. And like everything I'd learned in sales, I was like, oh, look, it's kind of not really in line. And there was God forbid, the old action take a discount right in the front. And I was like, look, I know that this is not in line with everything I know and everything I've learned. But I was like, it's in the script. And like I was looking, I'm like, these guys are converting pretty well. And like I was young in my career, so I didn't have enough like conviction to just be like, hey, I'm not going to do that. It was so funny. And I was like, I'm not going to put it in there. Anyway, I jumped on my first call. First call for the account, right? Fitness account. And took the guy through the call, gave me some objection or whatever. And I was like, oh, fuck, you know what? I'm going to ask the old action take a discount just to build a little bit of urgency. And I was like, yeah, man, I can't remember how it was worded, but I just literally read it from the script. And the guy goes, he goes, oh no. He's like, I really don't like that. And I was like, the moment, the words were coming out of my mouth, I was like trying to catch them, trying to get them back. And then immediately I was like, yeah.
Trust your gut. Trust your gut.
Ruined that deal. So he never did it. He went away and came back and then was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do it, man.
Yeah, because
the old actually take a discount. It's a perfect example, guys. don't just read the script. If something feels weird or wrong, like use your initiative.
But also like it will come across weird and wrong because like you're like unconsciously feeling uncomfortable about it.
If I'd have just owned it and be like, this is how I do all the time, it could have come across differently.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly
so might work
right.
for others, doesn't work for me. Exactly.
That's
anyway,
it.
That's
my one, well, like, yes, the action taker discount, absolutely could vomit if I was to ever read that again. Another one that I just like hate with a passion is, does your partner know you're on the call or is it a bit of a secret mission?
It's a secret mission. You don't like it?
Well, no, I don't like it. Like,
is this a bit of a dirty, filthy secret that's going on?
Exactly. Like, are you like, oh, do we share a secret here? You and I?
Really
is this like behind your husband's back? Yeah. Disgusting. Like, so gross. Get it out of there. Yeah. It's not even funny. It's not funny. Secret implies it's naughty. Like, it's bad. And so, like, unconsciously, I'm now going, oh God, I should have spoken to my husband. Yeah.
I'm cheating.
Like, I'm cheating. Yeah, this is bad. Oh gosh, like I definitely need to run this by because we don't have secrets in our relationship. Like, like who created that? I want to know. I want to have words with them.
I think I know.
I think I know too.
Oh, how good. How good is this for you?
Yeah, that's great.
All right.
I do you have any others? Any other like terrible?
Nah, I think I probably just deleted them from my brain. I think just like
any like really bold statements as well.
Actually, no, sorry. I have heard some outrageous agenda settings. Real heavy agendas.
God, like if you don't make a decision, end the call right now.
So this is what like my mentor literally said, like when he was training me, he was like, this is how I was taught. And he's like, I used to do this all the time. It's so funny. It's like, hey, name, like, so what we can, and it was like, you know, he's like very authoritative. So it was like, hey, Brooke, like, welcome to the call. So just so you're aware how this is going to go. I'm going to walk you, we're going to find out what's going on with your business. I'm going to walk you through how we can help the program itself. At the end of it, it's a hell yes. There is not a no. If there's a maybe, I'll take that as a no. Sound good? That was it. That was that was it. Used it every time on the call. And like, hey, he was actually very effective and it did work for him.
For him. Like you said, he was an authority.
But if I'm like kind of soft and I try and say that, people are going to be like,
people are going to walk all over you.
All over me.
They're going to be like, how dare you say that to me?
Yeah, they
would
just hang up.
Yeah, we'll just end the call right there then. You'll be like,
yeah.
I'm not upset you.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm not making a decision on this call.
Oh my God. Like that's still, that's what I'm saying. There's so many, I literally read scripts a lot of the time and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, are you actually kidding me? The amount of sales resistance that would come from just anybody reading this script is like, is mind-blowingly obvious.
I've also heard like really good scripts, but people just doing it terribly.
Well, that's
like timing off, like why now though? And it's like you literally just ask now like two questions ago, like,
or just be like, so maybe perhaps like at the end of the call you could maybe just like give me a decision.
Maybe make a decision.
That would be really good.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
When did we forget how to have a conversation and be assertive?
Yeah.
And lead. Yeah. People want to be led.
So moral of the story is
ditch your damn script.
Well, okay. Think of your script as like training.
I said what
wheels.
I said.
Yeah. You stand very strong in the scripting. Okay. Leverage a script. Think of them as training wheels.
But the training wheels have to come off.
Training wheels have to come off, unless, of course, you want to ride around like a 3-year-old level.
When you're an adult.
When you're an adult.
And no one wants to be caught with their training wheels on when they're in their 30s.
Yeah, and don't
That's just straight up embarrassing.
Yeah, and just don't ask dumb agenda setting or set dumb agenda setting at the front of the calls.
Just like, again, if you come across something in your script and you're like, okay, that feels weird. I literally get something show up in my body. Because like, this is something that I do in my training all the time. I'm like, right, when you say that, what did it feel on your body? They're like, oh, I literally can feel my heart racing. Okay, there is something that is attaching you to that you don't feel comfortable about. So why did you say it?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, I don't know. I just felt like I had to say it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're a fully grown woman. Like,
yeah.
Why are you allowing someone to tell you what you have to say?
Yeah.
Anywho.
Alrighty. Well, should we wrap it up there?
Let's wrap it up.
Perfect. All right, amazing. So we are out from the new podcast zone, the new crib, new house.
This is comfy. We look better here.
I think we do. The lighting's actually better. We actually have no lighting on now. So
this is just straight up raw dog.
Yeah, we're raw dogging it.
We're raw dogging it.
All right. That's it. Wrap it up.
Bye.
Bye.